Hello, welcome to our workshop, the home of T Sport Bernau. Today's video we're going to show you what tools we have in the workshop and what we have here all the time, and then the tools we take to the race circuit. So some of these tools we actually load, we keep them in the workshop, but when we go racing we'll put them in the trailer. So we have some engine tools, so leak back tester, this we use on the car side of the workshop. All these G-clamps are for the fabrication work. We do take some of them with us, but these are like perfect for when we're making the jigs for the bumpers and some other bits and pieces on the race truck, so these are really handy. Tyre levers and balance weights for when we're working on cars, and then all the torque wrenches. And as you can see already, like 90% of the tools here are from Teng Tools. We're quite lucky with Teng Tools because we have a local distributor, probably 2 minutes around the corner, and they're a really good company to work with. So yeah, that's one main reason why most of the tools here are from Teng. Then we have the stool. A lot of people think it's because we're lazy, but it's really good for when we're TIG welding. You can get everything balanced up and you get a more consistent sort of welding bead on your welding. And this toolbox is my private one. So we leave this one here in the workshop. So we've got everything from ratchet sets, screwdrivers, pliers. The main reason why I really like working with the Teng stuff is you can see they're in these trays and everything's organised, everything's really quick to get to, and all the tools, they come in these type of trays and they fit perfectly in one drawer. And the main reason why we get these TT trays is you can see if something's missing. So automatically I can see that this spanner's missing. Don't worry, I know where it is, so we're not too bad. And yeah, so a lot of tools are sort of crammed in. They're not designed to live here, but yeah, as you can see, we've got everything from like an 8mm socket all the way up to a 36 in this box, and then the bigger stuff we keep somewhere else. We try not to have boxes on top of them because it's sometimes quite handy to have a workbench where you're working. Then we have the sprays on the end, so WD-40 and brake cleaner. Then we have a homemade cable tie rack, so with the PE part numbers, so when we get low we know exactly what we need to reorder. Then this box is obviously, the top was designed to go on top of my private one, but we ended up getting this trolley also from Teng, and you can see that all the cabling stuff's here. Also all of the air fittings from PE with all the part numbers are in the drawers, so we can basically pipe a truck or pipe a race truck with the parts here, and then we keep the plastic pipe somewhere else. And then all the wiring loom stuff and all the connectors, and then we have all the original MAN connectors. These are for when we're doing the engine loom. We use these, so all these sort of quick releases, they go on the back of the cab. So we can swap an engine in, takes us around 45-50 minutes to swap an engine, because everything's just on quick release. And then this toolbox here, this was the very first toolbox I ever bought when I was 16, 17. And saved up a very long time for this, but this has become now a machine room toolbox, so all the drill bits are in it, and then we do keep some material in it, so some offcuts, so when we're working on the lathe we can just grab them quickly. And luckily these toolboxes, they're built tough, so we can put a lot of weight in them. And then we got like dial indicator, so when we're using the lathe we can get something arrow straight, and then just a standard caliper gauge, because I am a fan of the digital ones, but with this one the battery never ever runs out, so this is why I really like the sort of old school ones. And then we have some sort of standard tools, like I think this is Allen key set for when we're just setting some new bits up in the lathe. So, and then this literally lives in the machine room all the time. And then these two toolboxes here, these are the ones that we take to the races with us. So we don't normally have these the trays of bolts on, but we put them here in the workshop, so when we're sort of assembling the race truck, that all the bolts are really quick to hand, and there's, as you can see, a lot of weight here, so the toolbox is really up for it. This toolbox is the Fabrication and Special toolbox. So in the top drawer we have all the set squares, all the sort of scribes and sort of metal working fabrication tools, drill bits and tap and die set. Then we have electrical tools, and then we also have some air fitting tools. So these are to, when we're piping the race truck, we can change some pipes out, and these work with like the Raufoss connectors rather than the Voss stuff, so they're always handy to have. Then we have voltmeter, soldering iron, and then we have some sort of in-depth or technical electronics now. So we have brake temperature sensors, if there's an open one. So in here we have some used brake temp sensors, and these we put on the disc of the race truck, and these actually obviously sense the temperature, and this will send the information up to the driver on a screen, and then the driver can control the water flow and obviously switch the water on and off, so he controls that. Then heat shrink, more connectors, so super seals and Deutsch connectors. Then angle grinders, and underneath is like die grinders, flat discs, and then we actually made a bracket for all the flat discs to sit in, so when we're at a race circuit, everything's really quick to hand and they're not rolling about across the toolbox and getting all messed up, so that's quite handy to have. And then in the bottom drawer we have a huge sort of puller, bearing puller. This we use for the steering box to take the drop link arm off, and a few other places it's really useful. Then we have some MAN tools, so this tube is for sliding the rear bearings on, so it takes a lot of stress off the back. Then rear hub nut and a few other bits, so you can see that not every tool is from Teng, but I'll explain in a bit what the plan with Teng is. Then this toolbox is a mixture of trailer and workshop, so we call this Tom's toolbox, and it's quite similar to my box. So we have standard tools in it, so we've got some obviously ratchet sets, screwdrivers, pliers, spanners, more stuff, and this toolbox is obviously it's a full working toolbox in the workshop, and then when we're at the race circuit it actually becomes the service box as well, so that's why we have a lot of tools crammed into the box, because space is the biggest sort of issue we have with the race trailer, is getting all the tools we physically need into as little space as possible, and this is why we have the TT trays. So for you guys who maybe don't know Teng a lot, they do this type of tray, or they do like a foam tray, and for us this tray works perfect because when we're working on the race truck, it's a big risk if a tool is missing. So you can see that the side cuts are missing. It becomes like a shadow board for us, and it's very dangerous or it's a risk that we don't finish a race because maybe a tool falls into, I don't know, the alternator belt, pulls the belt off, and then we can't finish the race. So this is from our side, the biggest selling point for this tool, or this Teng business model, and this is the reason why we've standardized as many tools as we can afford in the workshop to be like this, because like I say, the distributor is only a few minutes down the road, so if we damage something or if we lose something, we can replace it really quick and easy. As regards of losing stuff, from my side, this type of tray, it minimises it, because you do one job, and then at the end of the job you look at it and you say, right, this is missing, this is missing, this is missing, so then you can go back to where you worked, go through it all, find all the tools that you lost. So from that side, it's perfect for us. And this obviously also has a homemade cable tie bracket, and then for the tractor unit, so the tractor unit, we have this sort of socket set, and this is the big stuff, and we keep this in case we get a puncture, or if we get or if something really big and heavy duty needs unbolting on the race truck, that we have this as an emergency, and that's in there for the front steering, so it's a special Torx bit, so we try and keep, obviously it's not meant to live there, but we put it there to save some space. And then this box here is the one that does probably the most mileage, so this actually comes to the pit lanes with us, so this is like our emergency toolbox in the pit lane, and I haven't opened this since the last race, so I don't know what's in it, but it should still be complete. So we've got stop go board for when the truck comes into the pit lane, that we can safely stop the vehicle, cable ties, side cuts, more side cuts, spanners, so, and then in the bottom we have a socket set, and these, we generally use these in the evening. So say Tom's working on the rear axle and I'm working on the front axle, there's obviously not enough tools for us both, so we also work with this box in the evening, but obviously you can see it's not as complete as the others, but we have been trying to think, we've been doing truck racing for many years now, and we've been trying for a few years to sort of do something with Teng, and we are quite happy, aren't we, Mel, that Teng Sweden, we've been in contact with them for a while now, and basically all these tools you can see here I have personally bought, so I've invested a lot of money into the workshop, and it's quite rare in England that the workshop owns the tools, so normally the mechanic owns the tools, but in this workshop I actually own the tools. And the good thing with Teng is the storage system, but also it's the price and the quality. So we have tools, if I get the right drawer, we have tools from Teng which we actually modify to make it fit how we need it. So if I was to buy a different make, they're a lot of money, and to modify a tool like that, you need to be sure that you're modifying it correctly. But with Teng, because it's not as expensive as some tool brands, you are actually, it's less painful to cut a tool up to make it how you want it. So from that side, it works really well. And then we've got loads of other tools that we've modified and stuff like that. So we've been talking to Teng Sweden for a little bit now, and Teng Sweden actually sent us 2 pallets of tools for the team. So we are going to unbox these together now. We're going to go through everything, and we're going to show you what we've sort of asked for, the reasons why we asked for them, and the sort of team effort that we are being trusted from Teng. So they want us to develop a more commercial vehicle range. So we're going to work very closely with the guys in Sweden to say, yeah, for trucks or for the heavy duty sector, this tool would be really good, maybe a little bit bigger or whatever. We're going to open all this up, go through everything, set everything up how we want it, and this means that Tom's toolbox will stay in the workshop, and we have hopefully we have a slightly bigger toolbox that we can put in the race truck and get some more stuff in it.